Food safety is very personal to me. In 2001, my 2.5-year-old son, Kevin, contracted E. coli 0157H7 and basically went from being perfectly healthy to dead in 12 days. I knew that E. coli could kill. I was actually more concerned about his sister, who has some health issues, and I was worried about her compromised immune status and how that might affect her. But anyway, the doctor said he'd probably be in the hospital a couple of days and then discharged unless he developed hemolytic uremic syndrome, and we had never even heard of that. HUS, as it's more commonly called, is when the Shiga toxin from the bacteria enters the bloodstream and causes cascading organ failure. HUS typically attacks a particular organ. The most common one is kidney, but it can attack the brain, it can attack the heart, it can attack the intestinal system. And when you're in the active phase, you really don't know which one it is. And that's one of the challenges the doctors have, is trying to figure that out. In Kevin's case, it attacked his intestinal system. When they did the autopsy, he basically died of gangrene of the large and small intestines, and that's 100% fatal. And so they decided, prior to doing surgery, to pull a fluid sample off of his stomach to see what was going on. And when they did that, they ruptured basically the abscess, and it overtook his system, and he died. Following Kevin's death, we had a lot of questions and concerns. We wanted to understand how he contracted E. coli. And we started on that path, and we submitted the FOIA request and heard nothing. And so then what we did is we got our congressional representatives involved. We threatened lawsuits. We'd get information for 1 or 2 recalls, then nothing again, and then we'd go through the whole process again until we finally took about 9 months, I think, to get all the information. And the last recall they provided us is what my son matched. The DNA of the bacteria that he was infected with matched that of a meat recall around the same time period. So we do suspect ground beef was the source of his illness, but we never conclusively proved that. Through that process, I learned a lot, and I realized how broken and ineffective our food safety system was. And I looked at it and said, I spent so much time, and I was a very educated parent, right? I had food allergies, I read food labels, I interviewed pediatricians, I read these medical journals. I had never known about HUS. I didn't know as much about food safety as I should have, or I felt that I should have. And if I didn't, I felt like a lot of parents wouldn't know either. And yet, how many times a day did I feed my kids? And here, I really, in the grand scheme of things, hadn't known very much. And so I got very active in food safety and food safety advocacy, and I was working at UW-Madison at the time. And finally, in 2004, decided that I needed to pick a career path. I could either, I was basically advocating and doing food safety work full-time, and I had this job, and it was just too much. And so I decided, I'm a very mission and passion-driven person, and decided that food safety was where I wanted to spend my time.